Well, good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good. Okay. Well, just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Andy Kim. I'm the Director of Talent Acquisition working very closely with our president, Pluscareer. I've been to explain to you a little bit about who I am and what I've done so that we can actually relate to each other. And if you have any questions and so forth, please feel free. I've been actually in corporate America for over 10 years now. Okay. I started out with my career just like how you are. Every one of you here are master's program, I believe? Yes? Okay. I need a lot of participation. Because when it comes to the job market, when it comes to interviewing styles, and really you need to be up the forefront. Okay. The US market at this time is still in a little tremble. Okay, I understand, yes, there's a lot of positions opening. How well do you know about the U.S. job market at this time?
Pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. Yes, it did crash with the recession 3 years ago. It is slowly, maturely rising uphill for the time being. But still, do you know what the percentage of the unemployment rate is?
9.6.
Exactly, on the mark, 9.6. Okay, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? Exactly. Okay. How many of you are here international students? Please raise your hand. Okay. So majority. So half of the room are international students and half of the room are U.S. citizenship, green card holders. Okay. I was sitting in your position when I was actually an F1 student of an undergraduate. Okay. This was about 10 years ago. And it is tough. It was tough back at then. Okay, one of the hardest things that is not because of the communication of English, but really trying to find out who I am. I have interviewed with Disney. I have interviewed with Four Seasons. I have interviewed with Aramark. I have interviewed with Ritz-Carlton. My background is in hotels. So more so, I had to be up and debate and also really understand the industry in itself. I studied, okay. I've done a lot of research, okay? I spoke to a lot of our colleagues, okay? But at the end of the day, I got it, okay? In the majority of the class that I went to a university in Michigan, graduated with Michigan State University, we had 30 different Korean students. Out of that, 2 people were hired at that point of time, okay? And the rest either had to go to master's school or go back to Korea. Or find some other ways. Now this was 10 years ago. Now it's even tougher, okay? It's even tougher. So grew from there, and then I kind of ventured out into human resources and predominantly did training. A lot of my area is actually getting a lot of my colleagues, my employees, our leader, to get competent in their jobs. So I did supervisory skills. I've done a lot of like interviewing skills, how to do resume writing, okay, how to be very confident in your job role with major corporations. Okay, so I'm here to present to you, okay, not as a lecture, but I wanted to actually reach out to you, okay, because I know everybody knows what is to be done at the interviewing skills, right? If I actually hand you out, what do you do in the interviewing type? What do you prepare? Okay, I assume that every one of you know. Okay, what is going to be the challenge is probably the practicing part. Okay, probably the mock interview part, which that's going to be a bit of a difficult or a challenging part on your end. Okay, so I'm going to ask a lot of participation. This is a time where you kind of get out of your comfort zone. Do you know what that means? Do you know what it means to be out of your comfort zone? It's nervous. Okay, it's scary because it's something you're doing out of the norm. Okay, that's who you have to be in order to be competitive. I've sat in your position. I've also sat in a position where I interviewed. Okay, I have funny stories to tell you. Okay, because I had mass interviewing, which means at one time I have probably interviewed 500 candidates. Okay, when it comes to like about 100 candidates, you automatically know. Is this person going to work for your organization or not? By asking you 3 questions, okay? But in the pool where you stand, that's where you're going to be challenged with. Because a lot of corporations are going to come here, and they're not only come to Baruch College, right? They're going to go visit other universities as well. What are your competitive universities from your major? Pace Universities, what else? Binghamton, okay. So what you need to know is that when they visit those schools, okay, what they have in mind, let's say IBM comes, and they have a computer engineering pot open. What they're going to do is they're not going to come in. Does anybody know how the interviewing works with those large corporations when they come to universities? Yes. Anyone? Yes. What's going to happen? They do a group interview. Yes, they do a group, which is called panel, right? They do the panel interview. Okay.
Interview, they conduct phone interview, they collect resumes,
right, okay. Phone interview is not going to be necessarily happening on the university recruitment field. Okay? That's not going to happen yet because you're going to be there face to face. What they're going to have in mind is that when they go to Pace University, Columbia University, Baruch College, okay, different universities, they're only going to select a percentage-wise. They already have in mind how many people they're going to select. That's it. Bottom line. If they're going to come to Baruch College and say, oh, IBM's going to only select 2 people, how many people do you think will want to apply for IBM at that day? Probably 500. So your chances are you need to stand out of that 2% out of 500. Okay? How are you going to do that? What are you going to do? Okay? So this is trying to find out about yourself as well. Okay? Not just, here's my resume, I got my GPA, 4.0. All right? I've done my studies, I've done my research, my professor did a lot of recommendation. So as other people that you have competitive with. Okay? What can you present that it's unique about yourself? Okay, so that's something that we're going to also do a little role play about. Yes?
I'm wondering, you mentioned about 3 questions that you know is
Mm-hmm.
with words.
Mm-hmm.
What are the 3 questions?
Okay, I'm going to throw it up to you. Who wants to challenge me? Who wants to, let's say, do, not a challenging, I'm sorry. Who wants to take up for this challenge? Who wants to be the role model for my interviewee? Come on. This is a practice interview, so there's no right or wrong at this point of time. No?
I didn't hear your question. What was the question?
The 3 questions, I think you probably missed in the beginning. It was the 3 questions that I usually ask, and I know exactly where they fit for the organization or not. Okay? All right, then I'll ask you this question then. Tell me about yourself. Who can tell me about themselves? It's about you. Go ahead. Yes, up for a challenge.
There.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Charles O. I'm a graduate student at Baruch College, expected to graduate February 2011. I have various experience in Sarbanes actually Section 404 compliance and database management, payroll and tax, sustainability reporting, evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
Based on my experience, I researched, I find my fit in your company. By the way, which company is yours?
Just say a company.
Okay, I find my fit in your company. I researched your culture. I networking your professionals many times, including business environment and social networking event. I find I love your culture and people, so I definitely like the culture in the current company. I can step into the position and make a positive and immediate impact.
Okay. All right. You're going to have to give him applause for that. Excellent. Your name is David, right?
Charles.
Charles. Okay. Charles. All right. You were telling me about yourself. For the rest of you, this is a question to you. What did you hear about him? About himself?
Nothing wrong. I don't see his academic accomplishments.
Okay. Academic accomplishments. Okay.
His work experience.
Okay. Work experience. Okay. What else? That's it, right? All right, Charles, I'm going to hand it to you. You're going to be on a medium pile. Maybe.
Okay.
You know why? Why do you think I would put that in the medium pile? I'm in school. I'm in master's program. It is required for me to do in academic studies. We know that. What does master degree teach you? What does master degree teach you? Tell me, what does master degree teach you? What do you do?
Technical knowledge and at the same time networking with other professionals who are working in the...
There you go. Okay. That's what they want to hear. You're in a master's program. You're not an undergraduate student. Even undergraduate students require, okay, community service. What have you done? Okay. What are some of the clubs you attended? What are some of the fields projects? Okay. As a leadership, what did you take on the role? When someone asks you, tell me about yourself, you got 2 minutes. Okay. You go over 2 minutes, they're going to like, okay, enough. I should not have asked that question. Someone who knows about that answer is in tune with what I have accomplished in my life of the master's program. Okay? So, Charles, what major are you in master's?
Accounting.
Oh, okay, accounting.
Yeah.
Have you been any involvement with the society besides your work experience in school? Major
Yeah.
accomplishments. What's your major accomplishments?
Networking club.
Okay, networking club. Okay, what networking club do you have?
I'm a member of the Baruch side.
Okay, what do you do there?
With Baruch side, I haven't done nothing special, but with Accent, I'm a member of many clubs. With Accent, I attended their convention and networking with professional accounting field.
Mm-hmm.
And I volunteered some of their events.
Okay. Okay, what did you do? Volunteer work requires to do something.
In the convention, I helped out their arranging stuff and introduce other people to other people.
Okay, so you were kind of like the lead person in the arrangement, maybe supply and demand side of it, right? Okay, there you go. So you're creating something that you're showing them, this is what I've participated, this is what I've achieved. From my studies, I've studied this, I joined this, and I've made a network with this person, and this is what I've learned from it, and I know that if I apply for this company, out of the job descriptions that I've heard, okay, X, Y, and Z is something that I will be potentially very strong at and confident with it. And you can explain about 10 seconds what that's going to intake. Simple, short. Okay, keep it simple and short. Not about, my name is so-and-so, I go to Baruch College. We know you go to Baruch College. They are here. They look at your resume. Okay, once you're in there, it's your only shot to give who you are at the best.
So you think,
Yes.
you think that sort of like joining these clubs, you're sort of showing that what you did beyond being
Absolutely.
a student, beyond being
Absolutely.
a student, and that you think will separate you from the pack of everybody else, grade-point average and everything
It's
else?
the active and the participation that a lot of the industries do look for. Because a lot of the industries, when they go into the company, it's no longer where you sit down and you just do administrative work. A lot of the thing has to do with how do you cooperate with others. They're going to look into the team orientation skills. Okay, are you assertive? Okay, are you passive aggressive? Okay, they're going to look into different personalities to it.
You have to be president of the club? That's why if you're not
No, you don't have to be the president of the club, but it'll be nice to know that you are not besides just studying with the master skills, but there's got to be a reason why you're studying this master. And what do you want to do and contribute to this company by studying this master's program? Okay?
You mean like showing that you're really passionate?
Yes.
Basically.
Yes,
Really love
absolutely.
accounting. I wake
Yes.
up and I think about financials, for
Right.
example. That's-
Absolutely.
They want to hear that and they'll believe it though. I mean, that's another.
That's why you're going to have to use your persuasion skills, and that's